Hey guys, GMX here. Today's video will be installing crown molding in my master bedroom. So when you hear about crown molding, you tend to hear that it's a lot of work, the angles are hard to get, and it's very time consuming. Well, with today's crown molding, we're actually going to make it very simple and user friendly, as well as easy to install. So the nice thing about these blocks is that they go up in the corners of your room, and essentially what they do is they eliminate the compound cut you have to make for crown molding. Typically with crown molding, you'd have to do a compound 45-degree cut, so that not only are you cutting 45 here, you're also going to have to cut at a spring angle to make sure that these corners meet up together at the bottom as well. And this is where the simplicity of these corners shines. So instead of doing the compound cut like you just saw, we actually can just put these together just like this and still have a beautiful angle. Now in today's video, you'll see me actually put an additional piece of trim, and that's going to fit right below this block here. And then my crown molding is going to go right above there and sit just like that. This will give the crown molding a little bit more depth and a little bit more height, and really make it stand out. In the description below, I'll have a link to some of these corner blocks, as well as some of the other things I used in this video. If you don't have pieces that are long enough, what you can do is actually cut 45-degree angles and make them up together. I will be doing that throughout this build, and I'll show you how to cover it up as well. So currently we have all the baseboards done, and so we will be doing the doors as well as the windows in my room. If you liked the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and follow me for more content. All my social media is down in the description below. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. So I started with the trim around the doors and cut all the angles to that, and then I moved to the crown molding. The door trim will be cut at simple 45-degree angles. One thing I highly recommend before cutting or doing anything else is always double check your measurements. Measure twice and cut once. The worst thing you want to do is cut a piece too short and then not have any extra or additional pieces that you could use in place of that. The paint I chose for the trim was a high gloss Dutch Boy paint. I'll link it in the description below, but what the high gloss will do is it'll give it a nice sheen, and it'll also be easier to clean if anything gets on the trim. So now after cutting all my crown, I've got it all laid out, nice and painted, ready to go. When installing your crown molding, make sure you mark off how far down the wall the actual crown molding is going to go, and then mark that occasionally throughout the entire length of the wall. That way you have a reference point so you can line up all your trim and it'll be nice and level. Quick reminder to always make sure you wear your proper PPE, that way you don't damage your hearing, your eyes, or anything else that might come in contact with anything dangerous. Now don't worry if you got some gaps or disparities between your boards. We are going to come in with caulk afterwards to seal up all of those edges. If you guys are interested in video games, anything like that, I actually stream on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday from 6 to 9 p.m. You can ask me questions about my builds, my DIY stuff, any of my crafts, arts projects, or just about gaming itself. I usually play PUBG and things like Civilization 6. The whole duration of this project took roughly about 8 hours with cutting, painting, and assembling all the crown molding. If you guys have any comments or questions about the crown molding or anything else, be sure to follow my social media down below or leave a comment in the video. When you are caulking a joint, there's two main methods on how to caulk. You can do a push method, where you are pushing the caulk along the seam, or the pull method, where you are pulling the caulk along the seam. We'll do a quick example of both. Here is the push method. As you can see, it kind of details the curve as it goes and doesn't leave much residue on the side. Now let's do the pull method. Now the pull method was very similar to the push method. The main difference between a push and a pull method is you have a lot more control with a push method rather than a pull. With a pull method, you need to be constantly squeezing throughout and maintain constant pressure, whereas with push method, you can kind of guide it and go over it multiple times. One of the best methods to clean up your joint, if you get too much caulk or not enough caulk in the right space, is to actually take soapy water, which is just Dawn dish soap and water, mix it in a little bowl. You get that on your finger, get it nice and wet, and then you just go along the seam here. And then you can repeat as necessary. And since you have the dish soap now, it actually repels the caulk itself and keeps your finger really clean. Here you will see me apply caulk to the crown molding. You can see I use a variety of push and pull methods for this just to get the best seams. Now you'll have little holes from where the nails have gone through. What you can do is when you're wiping up the excess caulk is you can actually put that caulk in those holes and kind of hide them as well. Alternatively, you can just paint over the nail heads. And here's a little before and after of the caulked crown molding. And there you have it. Crown molding in a master bedroom. Only took 1 weekend, all painted, caulked, and ready to go. If you guys liked the video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more content. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. All right, bye.